Louise Upston.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. One would have to stand in the House this week and ask what are the most important issues for hard-working Kiwis. Well, according to the Labour Party, it's whether or not their caucus of, how many? 33, have enough women, or actually are there too many men? Because that's the issue that they've been talking about day after day after day. And you know what? They couldn't even count. They couldn't even count the number of women they have now. So good luck with getting to your 45 or 50%. I hope you can count by then. But let's actually quote from one of their own. Josie Pagani, who was a candidate for the Labour Party, says that Labour is stuck talking about man bans and social engineering, rather than jobs and social mobility. How have they let this happen again? I think that says it all, Mr Speaker. Just actually shows how the Labour opposition are so disconnected, they're so out of touch. They are not listening to hard-working New Zealanders because this side of the House knows that John Key's team is leading the issues and getting results in the areas that matter to New Zealanders. Having safer communities, having higher levels of education, having more of our youngsters in education in the first place, having more jobs and having an economy that is growing. This week, Mr Speaker, the National Government actually reported on its better public service targets. Not only do we talk about things, we deliver results. We deliver results in the areas that matter to hard-working New Zealanders. So, there were up and down New Zealand, Labour supporters were picking up their jaws off the floor last week when instead Labour is talking about man bans. And it was quite interesting because, to quote one of the other commentators, Kerry McIver said on Sunday, policies count, ovaries don't. So clearly the Labour Party can't find any policies, they can't find anything that resonates with New Zealanders, so they're going around counting ovaries. Well, I don't think that matters to hard-working Kiwis. On this side of the House, we actually believe, Mr Speaker, and I'm proud to be a female member of the National Caucus, we measure on merit and performance. And not only do we select on that basis, we then measure the results that our ministers are achieving. And I want to, so I wasn't going to go there, but let's do it. Mr Speaker, there's a bit of a competition in the National Party caucus, and that competition is who gets to stand against Sue Moroney in the next election. Because every single seat she has stood in, our majorities go up. Our majorities go up. So there's a competition, a demand competition for who gets Sue. And we know when it comes to the Christchurch East selections coming up, I actually think that the Christchurch East selection has driven this man ban because they don't want Clayton Cosgrove as their candidate. And if we look at it, it's kind of interesting if you look at who are the ones that have come out with the letter this week. And if you look at some of the names involved, and if you look at the list that Labour put up last time and how that 50% would have worked, surprise, surprise. David Parker, Shane Jones and Andrew Little wouldn't have made it based on a 50-50 list. So they're only actually covering their own butts. But, Mr Speaker, I'm really proud of the better public service results that our government is achieving. And if you look at our lineup of strong women cabinet ministers, looking after the areas that count for New Zealanders, looking after justice, looking after police, looking after corrections, looking after education, looking after a whole range of issues, social development, looking after families, looking after children. Those are the issues, Mr Speaker, that matter to New Zealanders, and that's why I'm proud to be sitting on this side of the House, delivering results, not focusing on petty things like whether we've got enough men or too many or what they've got between them.
Catherine Delahunty.
Tēnā koe, Mr Speaker. Back to reality. Mr Speaker, there is a whakatauki in Aotearoa that says whatu nara nara te tangata